Okay, I am live now. Let me tell the Discord crew. And I'm started a little bit early. We have about 5 more minutes before we officially begin. So I'm just going to see if there are any comments. No one looks like no one's in the chat quite yet. Oh, we do have somebody. Goodness, hello. It's been an exciting day. It's been an exciting day. We may actually have uh hey, hi there. Um so actually someone from DigiDraw may actually be watching at some point. Hopefully they will. I sent them the invite, or I sent them the link to the live stream. Let me open it. Maybe they've replied. I'd love to. I'd love to do it with someone from the brand actually online. Oops, where's my? There we go. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, okay. Sac Sac Dask XDTC. You got to give me a name I can use because I'm always not sure how to pronounce or say your username. So if you told me before, I apologize. I just can't remember. But give me something that's easier to say. But having said that, I wonder what you think of those old Genius drawing tablets. It seems like they're still making them. Genius drawing tablets. Let me take a look. Let's take a look here. Mm, oops, not that. What do I want to do here? Um, oh, I see. Let's take a look here. YouTube, not YouTube. We want to get to, hang on. Let me just go to Google. Genius drawing tablet, and then let me bring it up. Let's see. So, Genius tablets. This must be it. These look dated. These look old. I definitely have never used one of these. I don't have any experience with it either. But it looks like kind of. Oh, they make more than drawing tablets. I think this must be very old. I'm just looking at just the way it looks. I can just sort of tell. I'm surprised they're still making them, but I guess Sac. Okay, Sac. I will do that. Uh, it just makes it easier to have a simple name I can use. So yeah, I'm excited. Got 3 more minutes. We'll just relax here. So while I'm waiting, we'll talk about what happened today. So, Brad Cobo, I think you all know him. He has started a weekly live stream on Wednesdays, and I love it. I try to attend whenever I can. The only reason I don't attend sometimes is I wake up late, or I just I forgot for a second, but I always want to attend, and I love it. I love just listening to him chat about things, and there's just so many people. I think he gets like I don't know 50 people in chat, which is a lot. Um, and a good size. When it gets too big, it's hard to keep up with chat. But with that number, then you get just about the right amount of people making comments. And so I try to attend, and I try to pipe in where I can. So he actually asked me to join him on the live stream this morning, and I did, and it was so much fun. We talked about so many topics. We talked about just pens in general, which makes me realize I really need to do. And one of the points I emphasize with him is you can't just look at the tablet. You have to understand the pen, the specific pen model, because if you don't know that, for example, there's in some sense there's no point getting a new tablet with the same pen because it's not like the new pen's going to behave like the old pen for the most part. And I should really create some documents and videos around what does it mean to have a good pen. Right? We talked about just my history a little bit with drawing tablets, which, as you know, I've been using them now for 31 years. Can you believe it? We talked about recent issue with Mac OS and the Wacom drivers, which was kind of very frustrating, where Wacom dropped support for a lot of older drivers. Super fun. I hope at some point we'll get to do something like it again. But in general, what I learned from it was I think I'm going to set regular times to do certain live streams. I still will do random ones like this one. But I think the audience likes it when there's predictable time, because I'm enjoying when Brad has a predictable time when he's going to be live. So that was a really inspiring, I would say. Sack says that's because this is like a Wacom that Genius is a competitor from 2000s. Yeah, I think the name has been in my head, but it's been forever since I've heard it mentioned. So I will start doing a regular live stream. If you have feedback on when I should do it, let me know. I have, just like everyone these days, I have a little bit of an international audience. So I'm on the West Coast of the United States in Seattle. So I'm thinking, and I could do multiple, right? There's not a problem. It's not like I have a schedule I need to keep, meaning I can do anything I need to, because I don't work. I retired. So I could do one in the morning, or I could do one in the evening. I'm thinking Monday or Tuesday mornings, or Friday evenings. Could do a weekend show. Just depends. And sometimes I talk about tablets. Sometimes we get a little far afield. Sometimes we're like diving into tablets. So that's something. If you have feedback on a regular stream, let me know. I definitely want to do an office hour stream to deal with questions that I find on Reddit and Q&A, because I think that is important to have, and news and updates. Okay, it is 7:01, so let's begin. So let me tell you what is up. So there is a new tablet brand. We discussed them, I don't know, a couple of months ago. We saw a website, and then they're on Twitter, but not a lot of details. So, they reached out to me actually, and they said, you want to try on the tablets, and as I always do, and I'm always very open about this, I do not accept review units or tablet gifts or anything like that. I always insist I personally buy tablets, right? I don't even accept like I buy them retail. So I went on Amazon and I bought a tablet on Monday. It's supposed to get here yesterday, one of these DigiDraw tablets, but it got here just literally 30 minutes ago. So that's my policy. I just want to make sure everyone understands that. I do not accept any review units. I don't accept gifts. I accept nothing. Okay? I just pay for everything out of my own pocket. Whether that's a smart strategy or not, I'll leave it. Yeah, that's another question. But right now, it's fine. So we'll take a look at their catalog, but specifically, I got the DigiDraw Turing Basic Medium. Okay, we'll go into why I picked that one. It's sitting in front of me. So we'll do a standard unboxing and testing, like I always do, and we'll try to understand the tablet. Okay, and I'll make my commentary. There's lots to cover here. So since the brand is new, we should probably talk about what they are, what is their product lineup. So we'll do a little bit of that. Let's see. And let me check my email real quick to see if they've made any comment about, I think they are going to try to watch. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Let's get there. Let's get there. Give me a second. And let me move this a little further away from my eyes here. And let's go to DigiDraw. Okay, now there's a little bit of messaging that gets a little bit crossed up because of the naming involved, okay? So the brand is called DigiDraw, but the website says Turing Draw, okay? So there can be a little bit of confusion there, but the brand is DigiDraw. So first of all, I want to say, we're gonna start from the beginning, since none of us have any experience with this brand. Let's just see if there's any information about the brand. Nothing about DigiDraw. Let's just do that. I'm clicking. Okay, it's just taking a little second. Okay. Company profile. Let's zoom in here. And I'm going to move to the right. Founded by a team of visionary experts with over 20 years of experience in electromagnetic input technology, Turing Creative is headquartered in Shenzhen, China, with core R&D team of nearly 100 specialists. We're among the rare few global manufacturers to master the entire industry supply chain. That's interesting that they would mention that. I'm intrigued by that statement, that the fact they're explicit about that. Our mission is to transform cutting-edge technology into the ultimate creative experience, establishing DigiDraw as a world-class brand for digital art tools. Okay, so two things we've learned. Number one, they want to be a world-class brand. You know, that's what they say. And number two, that their statement here is that they're one of the few who've mastered the entire industry supply chain. Okay, now I'm not a supply chain expert, but what that says to me is I'm expecting that what that translates to is more predictability in the components that make up their products. And you know from my discussion with Brad how important predictability is to me, okay? So I know this seems like just boring stuff when we're talking about pen pressure and pressure levels, but like it is important to understand how a company describes itself. Full chain autonomy, the foundation of professional excellence. Driven by 2 decades of scientific research, Turing Creative remains at the forefront of EMR handwriting technology. We have achieved a fully integrated workflow from self-developed core chipsets, custom module design, to intelligent manufacturing. Okay, this is just playing up the fact that they own the full stack, so that's fantastic to see. I see Sack has a comment. On the topic of pens, I don't know. I just tried the 2K. I think you're talking about the Wacom 2K pen, but I didn't think the vague whisperings of 2K pen being better than 4K pen was true. Surprising since it's a cheaper and older pen. So to you, the 2K and the 4K pen from Wacom felt about the same? That's actually how I feel, by the way. To me, they're very, very similar. I'm not sure if I have a preference. Okay. Honoring a pioneer, inspiring infinite possibilities. The name of our company pays tribute to Alan Turing, the father of computer science, inheriting his legacy of breaking boundaries and exploring the infinite. Under the DigiDraw brand, we provide a comprehensive suite of creative solutions, including professional pen displays, pen tablets, handwriting tablets. That's an interesting name for a category. Color management monitors. Okay, that's interesting. A little bit more than just a normal pen display. We do more than just capture every flicker of inspiration with precision. We strive to convey the warmth of art through technology and witness the realization of every creator's passion. Okay, so first of all, now I always have to say this because people need to know how I think about things. Well, I don't know if you need to know. I just think it'll help you. I have a 28-year history from Microsoft, so I am always deeply interested in how companies use words. What names do they pick for their features? How do they explain things? How do they position themselves? How do they explain what do they add that's unique as a brand or a technology or whatever? I want to understand how they came up with their name and their logo. I'm very picky about these things because all these things help you understand the brand. So the first thing I'd like to say is, this is a brand from China, as they say. Their name is DigiDraw. Now, again, there's a little bit of confusion because the name of the company seems to be Turing Creative. First of all, Turing Creative is a fantastic name. I love it. I love that name. It's just a good name. Because Turing, while somebody's, last name, Alan Turing, it's not hard to pronounce. You know how to say it. Everyone knows how to say it. Even if you've never seen this guy's name, you probably guess it's pronounced Turing. Excellent. Okay. Number 2, I like that it's named after a scientist. Okay. Tesla's named after Tesla. I forgot his name, actually. Nikolai Tesla. So, I like that. Turing is a pioneer, right? He is, and a genius. Okay. So I do like that. I love Turing Creative as a name. DigiDraw as a brand for, I guess, the tablets is good. It's very good. Let me tell you why it's good. Because it's kind of clear. It may not be the most inspirational thing in the world, but it's clear what it's about. Like digital and then drawing. Okay, I'm there. I'm totally happy with that. That's good. And I like this this logo here, right? It's it sort of evokes obviously a pen drawing, but also like an eye, right? It looks almost like an eye. So that's nice. Okay, so it's so easy to go wrong with names, but they did a good job here, and I think that helps. XP Pen's also pretty good. Huion as a name is a tough one to deal with. It's okay to have a name that isn't an English word. I mean, Wacom is not an English word. It's a Japanese sort of, what do you call it? It's I don't know, a compound word or abbreviation or something, because it's Wacom, like computer and harmony, Wa. So it doesn't mean you can't have non-English words. Wacom is easy to pronounce. It kind of understands. It's kind of nice to say. And DigiDraw is easy to pronounce and nice to say. So that's good, right? Huion's a little bit tougher for me because it's just not a combination of letters someone would necessarily run into, right? But it's not really hard to say when someone says it. I think there is some intuitive sense in how to say it. Okay, let's see. Sack says, I did find the 2K a bit better than 4K pressure. Is more unstable. The default pressure curve is not good. Can mostly fix with a pressure curve. But you know what? I'll take a look, maybe after I look at this tablet, at the 2K versus 4K, and see if I can detect anything about the two. By the way, how's the audio, Sack? Is it all working out? I hope so. Okay, so I'm happy to do this. The other thing I'd say is, this is what we call marketing copy, right? The copy here means, for people who don't know, when you're writing things, in some industries, they refer to the text as, quote, copy. Why that is, I'm not totally sure. But, so that's what I mean by marketing copy. It's kind of marketing-based text here, okay? I would say this is all good. It's probably, could be simplified, to be quite honest. But at least it is inspirational. It's clear how they see themselves and what they're offering as special. In fact, I wish, honestly, because I love, it is rare that someone talks about a concept like mastering the entire digital industry supply chain. I'd love to know more about that. I'd love for them to explain what that means. Now, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but it's good to understand that, right? And why they think they have an advantage over others. Okay, so having said that, let's just take a look at the products here. They don't have many, which is good. Okay, they're starting de novo. De novo means from nothing. So we don't have any legacy to deal with. So what do we have here? We have the, oops, not this. Okay. We have the, let me zoom this in a little bit. Maybe I need to go to full screen as well. So the Turing Pen Display Series. So they have the Turing Pro 19 Touch. And we'll take a look at specs in a minute, but Turing 14 2.5K. Now, by the way, I will get one of these. I haven't decided which one to get. Okay. Now, if I had to bet, I would bet you this 14. It's why the resolution is 2.5K, which is good. This looks like a 16 by 10, which I think gives you the feeling of a larger tablet. So that's interesting. And the Pro has touch. This one on the right does not. Okay. So I'm going to get one of these for sure. Just don't know which one. I might just do the 14 just because, to be honest, I think most people buy smaller tablets. That's probably the most popular kind of tablet. And then they have their Turing Pen Tablet Series. So these were called Turing Pen Display Series and Turing Pen Tablet Series. So there's, actually, let me take a look at the names again. Turing Pro. Okay, this can get a little confusing because it's Turing Pro 19. So when it's Turing with a number, it's a pen display. If it's Turing and a small or medium, it's a pen tablet. Which Wacom does this. Cintiq 16 and Intuos medium, right? Yeah, it is. You're right, Zach. This is it is surprising they went with these sizes. 19 came about first with Huion. And it's a weird size. I think it's a weird size because for me, now other people disagree. For me, 19 feels just, because really, by the way, 19 is really 18.5, okay? It feels a little too close to 16. I prefer 22. I think I would love to try an actual 20-inch tablet. That might be even what I like more. But yeah, 19 is a weird size. And now we've seen XP Pen deliver 19. And now we have Turing DigiDraw 19. Oh, sorry, the Turing Pro 19. And notice that 19 always ends up being a Pro display, which is fascinating. Okay, so they have Turing Smart and Turing Basic. Now, what I bought, and the Smart one comes with a wireless remote, and they're wireless. They have Bluetooth 5.0. The Basic looks like the same exact tablet, I think. Actually, there are some differences. I think there's some differences. The Basic does not have wireless, it looks like. And it says here, Pen Tap Quick Launch. So I think you can see these little dashes here. Those may be soft keys. Okay? We'll have to find out about that. But I got the Basic one, the medium size, so the Turing Basic M. Now, first of all, there is something special here. And I didn't believe this at the time. But it looks like they actually have this wild, trippy, psychedelic design on the tablet surface. That's crazy. I love it. I love it. In a world where tablets are just boring, at least we get something where I can look at a tablet and say that, I'll be able to recognize this tablet forever. Okay, so I will salute them. Let's see, Sack says, I think that they're seeing 19-inch tablets like Pro version of 16. Yeah, I can see that. There seems to be somehow we're falling into this 19-inch. 19 inches is it's like the Schwarzschild radius, right? Like once you get past that, you're in Pro zone, right? So there's, how we arrived at 19, I don't know. Like it's just a weird number. Okay, but I love the design. We're going to click on this one and take a look here. So we can familiarize ourselves with. Okay. Buttonless design, which I think is great. Okay, and this is just me talking like a program manager for Microsoft. there are ways to explain things you don't have, which make them more palatable to people. Like, for example, most people want buttons. Or I don't say that's not true. Not everyone wants buttons on their tablets. But I prefer tablets without buttons because every physical thing that moves is a point of failure in the future. And you might spill water into the buttons and all sorts of things. So I'm actually really happy they're emphasizing buttonless design. Okay. Paper-like texture 2.0. Okay, everyone talks about, every tablet manufacturer says, oh, we have a paper-like surface. Nothing feels like paper, but in general, pen tablets have more texture. And if you like more friction or texture, because those are different things, friction and texture, then you will like a pen tablet generally more than a pen display. Pen displays almost naturally have less texture, less friction, because if they had a lot, then it would like make the screen blurry. Ergonomic curve, don't know what that means. I have some ideas. By the way, I do love the artwork. Okay. Let's see. We'll see if the box keeps it up. Everything looks good here. I have no problem with this. It is thin. Okay, this is the T410. Notice that on the bottom side where the hand is going to come from, it's kind of sloped down. I think we first saw that with actually in 203 series, and then Sense Labs. This kind of sloping down. Slight wedge shape. It's a little bit thicker toward the top of the tablet. So it's thin. Look at this. Is that a light or just a reflection? I don't know. I hope it's a light. I would love light, but I think it's just a reflection of something. Ergonomic comfort curve. Okay, that's marketing talk. I do like it. It's a nice feature, so your hand doesn't get, pain. Let's see. Sack says, I think that Intuos 2015 had a surface that felt closest to paper of any tablet ever, but it still felt very much felt different. Absolutely, Sack. Absolutely. For me, it was Intuos Pro 2017, like PTK, 860, 660, 460, had crazy amounts of texture. And I think it had too much, because that was a nib eater. That was absolutely a nib eater. Okay, Magic Pen 3. Hey, look. Magic Pen's not a bad name for technology. Okay? Our pen tablets feature next generation M3 digital pen equipped with relay. Okay. So it looks like M3 must mean Magic Pen 3 technology. Oh, no, sorry. M3 is the pen model number and Magic Pen 3.0. Now, there's a couple of things here which are interesting. The model numbers are giving me some signs, and the fact that calling it Pen 3.0 is interesting. Pen looks good. It's kind of a slim pen. I don't think this is an eraser at the end. Oh, one more thing I love. I like that the brand's name is on the pen. Yes, that's good. That's really good. And why do I like that? Because I have 140 pens. Do you know how easy it is to lose a pen that's just black plastic? Number two, I love the fact the pen model number M3 is on the pen. Then you know exactly what pen you have. So that is good. Again, I don't think this is an eraser, but we'll find out. Report rate, fine. Look, these are specs you don't need to worry about. Everything's fine here. Ultra narrow gap. I don't understand what they're saying here, what ultra narrow gap means. I have to ask how to interpret that statement. 16K pressure levels. Look, everyone's just saying 16K these days. Look, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. You only need 8,000. 16,000 is not going to affect you. I am curious how they modified the pressure curve to just feel good. Okay. So we'll see. 60-degree tilt support. That's normal. We've been having that for. Oh, one more thing. Tilt support not available on a T410 model. Okay. This gives me a little more hint about what's going on, by the way. And I'll tell you what that hint is later. K30 wireless remote. I don't like these kind of remotes. It's not the fault of this brand or anything. I prefer a tour box. Now, not everyone likes a tour box, but that's my thing. I don't, does this come with the remote? I don't think it does. So I never look at these remotes when I get them. I don't think this tablet came with it. It's called the K30 remote. Full compatibility. This is interesting. They list Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android. Maybe we'll do some Android testing. Harmony OS. I don't know what that is. I can't remember. Okay, let's just take a look at the specs here to compare the two basic tablets. Again, I got the T610. Sheathing material, PVC, which I've never seen a tablet explain what material the tablet, I guess that means the plastic surface. You get the pen tablet, the pen holder, okay. USB-C cable and quick start guide. So it's very basic. Let's take a look at the other model. The Smart, and see if we can find any differences. Hang on, where are we? Yeah, because they look a little different, don't they? They have that same curved design. Actually, am I looking at the right thing or not? Hang on. It's a little confusing. Yeah, these look like soft keys. Is it using the same pen? And then click on Smart SM again. It got me a little confused. The site taking a little extra time. Okay. So they mentioned that this is again thin, so I'll be curious to see how thin they got it. Same pen tech. Oh, this is interesting. So then now with this pen, they also talk about, I guess it comes with this a grip. Okay, that's good. So you can make it a thicker pen if you want to. I don't know if the version I got comes with this grip. Let's see, Sax says, mine 2OS Pro 2017 feels smooth, weirdly. At the same time I got it used and the person had it before me might have put a smooth surface. Yeah, they might have done that. Or also another thing is the, with the Intuos Pro, so they had different texture sheets. They come with the standard texture sheet, but there's the smooth texture sheet also. The other thing is the texture sheet, the texture can be eroded. Like if you really use it a while, and this is normal, a lot of people in Intuos Pro 2017 model, the texture sheet is, how can I say? You'll see it get shiny in the middle because that's where more people draw because you're just worn through the texture. It's not really wearing through the sheet. It's just like that top layer is just kind of smoothed out. You can see it in a lot of eBay photos. Okay, and this one supports wireless Bluetooth 5.0. Okay, let's find out about these keys here. Oh, interesting. These are soft keys. So look, I don't know if you can see the icons here, but there's like play, there's volume keys. There's like play, pause, next, previous, save, some other key here. The small one has 10 keys. The large one seems to have 16 keys. Now this is interesting because this was a feature of the Huion HS611. They had media keys that were soft keys. I actually liked it. I'm not a fan of soft keys in general, but it's kind of cool to be able to change the volume slider with the or the volume setting with the tablet. Okay, they talked about the K30, same compatibility. Let's take a look at these. These are the TW. So have wireless, same basic things here. So, there's no, I mentioned that there were certain clues about what's going on here, which is the model numbers and, the phrase Magic Pen 3.0. So it looks like these are very similar to the Huion Frago tablets, right? So we'll test a little bit, see if we can get the Frago pen to work with these tablets and these with the Frago. Okay. So it would hint to me strongly that these were using at least the same family of digitizers. So we'll see. Okay. Okay. I need to take a quick bio break, so I'll be right back in just a few minutes. Okay. So just hang on. Okay, I am back, and let us see. Uh, the surface was Saxa. The surface is definitely not eroded anyway. Okay, then maybe it was the smooth surface, the smooth texture sheet. Okay, so I think we've spent enough time going through this. Oh, they're just showing. Sorry. Anything else here of interest? No. Both seem like pretty standard tablets. Nothing too surprising. So let us do the next thing, which is start looking at it. Okay. Got to turn on my overhead. Some of you may notice that I am back to my, what do you call it? I am back to my normal desk. I was at a different studio when I talked to Brad this morning. The studio was not set up perfectly. People told me my audio wasn't as good as they expected, so and I wasn't happy with the lighting or the way the angle of the camera, so I decided to come back here for this one. But I think I'm going to set that other one up a little bit and move. I do want to move to that room eventually, because that is the what did Mihao call it? That is in the tablet grotto. The tablet grotto. Okay. Let's see. I'm waiting for the camera to begin its journey. It didn't turn on. Hang on. Let's try this again. Sometimes it just doesn't turn on. It does have power. Oh, no, there we go. Sometimes it seems to get to point the remote at it in a funny way to get it to turn on. Okay, let's see. It said over for a second. I apologize for the confusion because I thought over meant overhead, not stream is over. So my apologies. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to create. Now sorry, got my equipment confused. I switch in a different way. Oh, I hate this thing sometimes. Okay. Okay, here we go. Not quite. There we go. Okay, I know this looks really bad right now. Don't worry. I gotta just figure out how I'm gonna do this. Oh yeah, I need my. Okay, let's point it down. Oops. Not like that. Down. Yay. Okay. So you can see my tablet juice. That's my Red Bull. And there's the tablet. Okay. Oh, that's sorry. That isn't the tablet. That is the monitor I'm looking at with the specs. That's here. If on the screen right now, it's the thing right above. That's what you're seeing. See? I'll move the. I'll move. Right. You can see it. Okay. So here is the actual tablet. DigiDraw. You know what? I think I probably do need to increase the exposure a little bit for this to work. Let me go to my OBSBot center. Row mode, okay. Sure. Hopefully this works. Okay, connect. Okay, skip all. Okay, you gotta give me a second here because I do need to tail series, wired connection. I am connected. I am connected. Okay, I think it's, let's just see if this is, okay, I am connected. Okay, great, good. Okay, so let's do a little bit of exposure control. No, I don't want that. That's a little better. And ISO, let's increase it. That's a little too overexposed, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. Again, we're not looking at this. That's just in the way, so I can see something. We're going to look at this. Okay? So, DigiDraw. Okay, that's good. Oh, here's the front. I should have showed you this at the beginning. Okay? So it says T610 drawing tablet, Turing Basic M. You know, I always want more color with things. You know me. But this is fine, right? At least they have some splashes of color. It's very clear which tablet you're getting. They have the model number clearly here. They have the size clearly here. And they have the brand clearly here. So really, no complaints at all. Is my auto-focusing? Let me make sure it is. Oh, it's on manual focus, no wonder. Continues. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see, right? It says DigiDraw right there. And then, so this is a fine looking box, no complaints. I do wish it had a nice, you know, I want to see more artwork, okay? So let's, uh-oh, do I need to get up? I'm gonna try to break this with my thumb, or my fingernail rather. Okay, we need to get a, I always forget to bring a knife here. Okay, give me a second. I need to get a scissors or knife. 1 second. Okay, I am back, and I got my, what do you call this? What do you call this? This is a box cutter. And like, you gotta pretend I'm like Wolverine, right? Snicked. Now got the box cutter. I really am frightened of these things because I just feel like inherently I'm gonna stab myself. Okay, let me feed those blades. Let's see. I tried to search for this company on Chinese internet, but so far I found very little info about it. I only found an Alibaba store page, and the company's registered in July 2024. Yeah, this looks very new. I didn't search. I didn't do any searching, but I am very curious. Maybe once we get done with the stream, we'll do a little bit of investigation. Now, what we do see, and I just want to be frank about this. What we do see is the market in China is a little different from what you're used to. They tend to have a lot of brands, okay? And you know them. You see them all the time. Like Huion, the company, has Huion the brand, Gaomon the brand. I think they own Artisul as well. Hanvan UG, the company, has UG the brand, XP Pen the brand, and SenseLabs the brand. And so they use, at the very least, they use families of digitizers are shared among the brands. I can't say that they use the exact same digitizer because I don't know that. I don't open the tablets up. But this is something we see a lot. So now, based on the tablet number, I mean, I think my feeling is this is based off the Huion technology, at least in terms of digitizer, okay? Now, does it mean there's a difference between the brands? Well, yeah. Just because something uses the same digitizer doesn't mean you're getting the same experience. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I regularly tell people in the United States, well, I think you should probably get a Huion instead of a Gaomon, even though they're owned by the same company. Why is that? Because what I see is it's better for you to use a brand where a lot of people have the tablet. Okay? And as far as I can tell, the Huion website is more up to date with the drivers and they have more products, right? So for me, that's a safer bet, right? So, according to my way of thinking, a smaller brand is always a little disadvantaged from my point of view because I tend, I don't mind buying it, but, I think if you have to get this tablet or this brand, you should be someone who's more comfortable working with tablets, right? Because you know what you can expect, because you're not going to be able to go out on Reddit and find someone who's going to help you. That's just the truth. You're going to have to depend on other people. Now, also, the support story can be quite different, right? So you might find, I don't know how support is done among the different brands. I don't believe they're sharing the same literal support teams. So maybe, oops, where are we there? There we go. Okay. So I'm unpacking. Finally got the, oops. Okay. So nothing, let me bring this down a little bit. Oops. Okay, here we go. So the tablet is not gray like this. This is just a plastic cover. Pretty standard these days. We see a lot of tablets with the plastic cover like this. Okay. No, it feels, I don't know how to say it. It feels a little bit lighter than I expected, right? Nothing bad, just feels a little bit lighter. 4 little rubber feet. It's very clean looking. Got the, it says Turing Basic M here. The only thing, honestly, I would say is I'm older now, so it's harder for me to read small text. I really wish the model number and all that stuff was a little, I just wish it was bigger on these tablets, okay, on the back. And then the front is very, I'm feeling with my fingers, so, fingers are not a good judge of texture. It just feels, everything just feels smooth. USB-C ports up here on the upper left side. Looks very good. Yeah, it's sort of like not light, but it's lighter than I expected for a tablet of its size. Okay. And, the other thing is, now, I don't know what you can see. What you see probably looks like a flat black plastic. And if you remember, the pictures of this show words. It's the words DigiDraw, like curve. It's here. It is here. It is in with your eye. It's incredibly subtle, right? Like I can see it just barely with my eyes. I don't know if the camera is picking it up at all. Okay, so, and that's okay. I can understand that. Not everyone wants to see like a really wild set of, but it's just subtler than the pictures make it out to be. That's all I gotta say. And it's not a complaint. It's just if you're expecting like it to be obvious, it's much more subtle. Okay, nothing wrong with that. And you don't feel the letters or anything, so I'm not sure how the letters are baked into the plastic. But okay, and then what do we get here? Let's do our unboxing. We got the, move this out of the way. We got the pen here, wrapped in a little plastic. It's definitely a slim pen. It's probably, it's probably a little slimmer than I expected. Now, I have a Pro Pen 3, so I'll compare it to that in a second. Where's my cutter? Snicked. Get this thing cut open. There's probably, you know, I'm always like too eager to cut things. That sounded bad. Okay, this is the M3 pen. It actually, you can see it says M3 here. And it says DigiDraw here, so it's nice. I do like this. Let's see. Feels fine. Maybe, I can't say it's lighter or heavier than I expected. Again, this is not an eraser. This at the end, it might look like there is. There's a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an 8-pointed star at the end. I don't know if that's significant, but that's interesting. Little design detail. Pen pen is overall very smooth. It's not made of like rubber or anything. Everything seems fine about it. And let me just bring up the Pro Pen 3. I mean, I'm just doing this by my hands. It's lighter than the Pro Pen 3. It's almost the same. Pro Pen 3 is just a like, I don't know, 2 millimeters longer. The tips, the nibs stick out about the same amount. 2 buttons on this pen and 3 on the Pro Pen 3. Okay. And then what else do we have here? The user manual, which I'm not going to look at because I never do. What do we have? I'm sure we have a cable in here somewhere. Okay, we have the, what do you call this? Pen holder, pen stand. Okay, it says DigiDraw on it. Nice. Good to have the name of the brand there. And there are 8 nibs. They look to be the same kind of nib. At least they look that way. And a little ring, nib remover ring. Pretty typical, nothing too surprising here. A very basic tablet. Nothing fancy here. And then we have a little USB cable. USB A to USB C. Now I will use this one because normally I just reuse the Wacom one. But let me just undo this little. Okay. I would estimate this about 4 feet. It's not 6 feet, it's 4 feet. So you might need a little bit longer one, depending on your desk situation. And let's see, let's plug this into my USB hub. My hub works well, so I'm sort of very secure in plugging into the hub. But in general, if you're plugging in a new tablet, I recommend that you plug it directly to your computer. Okay, again, this tablet does not support wireless. Let's plug it in here. Now, does anything happen when I plug it in? No, and of course not. Oh, wait a second. Okay, now you have to understand what's going on here. I'm actually, you see the cursor? Okay, now it just works out of the box, sort of. When you see this little cursor, this little weird diamond-shaped thing, not the normal mouse cursor, which is where is it? This one, right? When you see this cursor, that tells you that you're using Windows drivers with the tablet, okay? So it's a good sign that this tablet will work with the Windows driver. That doesn't mean life is perfect. It just means that that's a nice advantage because having the Windows driver, sometimes your tablet driver is having problems, and using the Windows tablet driver it's like a last option if you need your tablet to work. Okay. Now the first thing I like to do I'll do that testing later because normally we should have the drivers, but we need to see what drivers we do have. I think I have a Wacom driver. Yeah, I have Wacom stuff. You got in Windows, I highly recommend you uninstall existing drivers. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna uninstall the Wacom driver. Of course, it says nothing's installed. That's fine. Let me close this DigiDraw thing here. Okay. Add, remove, programs. Let's uninstall Wacom. Why don't I see it here? Oh, yeah, this always confused me. I typed search in the wrong place. You type it here. Okay, Wacom tablet. Uninstall. It's going to cause a reboot. That's okay. I'm streaming from a different computer. I love this tablet service deployer undeployer. What a nice name. Yes, I want to install. No matter what a tablet driver tells you, reboot after you uninstall it. And even after installing it, I recommend a reboot. And on Windows, I do recommend that you do not mix and match tablet drivers. Just install one brand. So let's let it do its thing. Okay, let's just restart it. Restart now. Okay, well that's restarting. So yeah, we'll do some light testing and see what we think. Hi, Pleasant. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm just waiting for the reboot. You know what I'm really waiting for is Huion to release pen tablets with PenTech 4.0, PW600 pens. That's what I want to see. But for some reason, and I talked about this with Brad, they're just not doing it. Hopefully that means they will do it. They're just, I don't know, preparing. Okay, rebooted. Let me log in. My audio connection got disrupted by that, so let me redo it. Connect. Let's see. Okay. Okay, now we're good. I can hear. Remember, for me, I need to hear something in my ears. I need to hear music or something. It drives me crazy when it's just silence. Because I feel like no one's there or something. I don't know why. Okay. Let's see. We got to get. Let me just make sure I open up the stream, because I like to keep the chat on this computer as well. Give me just a minute. Set this up again. Well, I'm gonna have to. I potentially need to reboot. So let me not do that yet. Let me just do the reboot. Oh, sorry. Let me install the driver. So no one puts the drivers on this CDs anymore. So we're gonna have to find the driver, and you can see me try to find it. Let's go to, what is it called? Is it or is it Turing Draw? See, the problem. Is it DigiDraw or Turing Draw? TuringDraw.com. Okay, support. Okay, I'm happy drivers list at the top. Drivers download. Well, every new driver is a chance to, okay, so they have Mac OS, Windows, ARM64, and Linux. I want Windows. They have no older versions, but nice that they're thinking ahead. They say, by the way, they actually say for the pen tablets, you don't need to install drivers, which is correct. But, we should test that out maybe a little bit to see if it works the way I think it should. So all I'm hoping for, the driver looks nice and does what it needs to do. Just got to nail the basics. We don't need anything, fancy here. Okay. So this is version, it doesn't have version number, it just says the date. So this is from April 10th of last week. Okay. Let's hit it. Okay, so first thing they need to fix here. The driver is not signed. Okay, so that's look, I'm still a Microsoft guy. I will typically tell you, do not install software where this message comes up. Okay. Maybe it's signed, I don't know, but Windows Defender Smart Screen prevented an unrecognized app from starting. Running this app might put your PC at risk. No one wants to see this. So the first thing I'd say for the Turing Draw people, I don't know what's causing this. Most likely it's because the driver is not signed. Please take care of that, okay? Because this just creates panic on the part of any normal Windows user, right? So to get through this, though, for my case, you click on that more info. It tells you this, right? It tells you who published it. Okay, it says Turing Creative Technologies from Shenzhen. Run anyway. So I'm going to run anyway. Yep, go ahead. And while that's happening, I'm just going to go over here and just do a little bit of cleanup. Okay. Quit all drawing programs before installing. Sure, we'll do that. I do like the graphics here. Kind of nice. Very pleasant looking. Start now. I wish the logo was a bit bigger though on that splash screen with the driver installation. Okay, contact us. No devices connected. Oh, now it fed. Sometimes it takes a second. Wow. Look, I know it's a styling thing, but this looks really nice. I gotta tell you, it looks really nice. Sack says, I'm so familiar with screen because I play a bunch of indie games and use obscure old software. Yeah. I just think for a normal person. Okay, so now we get to the 7 plans. Look, we talk about tablets so much, but a lot of your time needs to be spent touching the driver. So it's good to spend time on the driver. What does the driver do? How does it work? Okay, so you give me a second because what I need to do is I'm going to take screenshots, okay? Or yeah, let me just take, here we go. So this is the DigiDraw Basic. So this is the device, right? That's the tab we're on. We're on, call this workspace. Okay, so let's take a screenshot. Okay, so it's mapped to a different display. That's fine. We're going to fix that. I'm going to just click here. So it maps to the display here. You can't see it. So let's just show it to you. Now it's mapped to the actual display in front of me, right? So you can see can you see it? Yeah. Oops, I didn't click. Actually, there's something's not quite right here. It is actually, this is confusing. It's actually got this wrong, okay? So how can I explain this? Things are working correctly, right? But the driver is telling me it should be mapped, this mouse pointer should be going on a different monitor, okay? Once I click on this, where it should be, the mouse is on the other monitor. So there's some kind of minor, an irritating little bug here, confusing bug. It could just be because of my system, maybe a rare thing, but they should look into that. So that's problem number 2. Okay, so I'm gonna just write, actually, let me start some notes here. Give me a second. We gotta write down some notes. Yeah, drivers should be signed. Drivers should be signed. There's no reason not for drivers to be unsigned. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna start a new show notes for this. I should have done that in the first place. Okay, show notes. And current ad page. What is today's date? It's the 2026-04. This is the Turing Draw. Saying Turing Draw, then DigiDraw is getting me confused. Okay. T610. Okay. So my first feedback is here. I know you can't see what I'm typing, so I'll show it to you. My first feedback for them is feedback. Driver is unsigned. Needs to be signed. That's the way it is. Okay. Number 2 is workspace mapping on my machine is crossed up, meaning shows the wrong, shows the maps incorrectly, meaning I had to pick the wrong display to get the tablet to use the right display. Okay, so that's a weirdness. They just need to investigate what's going on there. Okay, so already, by the way, I'm going to tell you this very similar to the Huion UI. because I look at the Huion UI a lot, so I know very much what's going on. Okay, and then we look here, virtual keyboard settings. Okay, yeah, this looks to be very much similar to the Huion V20 drivers. This is all fine. Pen, Windows Ink, of course, we need to have that. Pressure curve. Yeah, I can listen. I know what I'm looking at here. Advanced setup. Yeah, this is definitely the Huion driver, or built from the Huion driver codebase. And then, yeah. So it's kind of all been tweaked. I would say it's maybe not the V20 drive. It's more like the V15 drivers, right? So, and there's nothing wrong with this. I don't mean to say that in a disparaging way. My point is, I'm just very familiar with the code base, meaning how the V15, V20 drivers work, because I use them a lot. I investigate them quite a bit. So it's just showing its lineage. Now, is that a good thing or bad thing? It's not necessarily a bad thing. I would prefer if, in addition to the very beautiful styling, that the UI had its own flavor. Okay? So that it was less, oh, this looks like the Huion driver. Okay? That's just my preference. But that doesn't mean the driver's worse or better. It just means that, I prefer it to be its own thing, because I think if you're going to start a new brand, the look and feel of the product should be that brand. Now, a great example of this in practice is the SenseLab drivers. SenseLabs is a brand whose parent company is Hanwon UG. Does the SenseLab driver look exactly like the UG driver or the XP Pen driver? Not at all. It's very different looking. It's the best looking and best functioning driver we know of in terms of UX design and just attractiveness, right? So I would just like that to be true here, right? They've got a powerful name, Turing. Let's have a little bit more tweaking of this experience. Not a lot. You don't need a lot. You don't need to invent new things. Just needs to look like its own brand. Okay, so I'll give that feedback to them as well. Driver should be a little more distinct. Terms of experience looks a lot like the Huion V15 drivers. Okay. So again, this is a hint that this tablet is probably using the same family of digitizers. Okay. There's a little question mark here. I want to click on it. Hang on. I want to make sure you see what I'm clicking on. The little question mark here. Oh, it just takes me to the site. That's all. Nothing. And then on my notes, let me put on my previous notes as well, which is just these are my. Right? It looks very attractive. Surface pattern. This work here. Okay, there we go. Surface pattern design is much more subtle than the photos imply. Not bad. It's much more subtle. Not a problem. I'm not complaining. Just maybe surprising for some people. Probably, yeah, just everything's fine. Nothing really surprising here, okay? Nothing really surprising. It's a very basic tablet. Now, what do we want to do? We want to do a little bit of testing, okay? No, you see it's not in the right place, so that's fine. We have to go back here into workspace. And I had to select the wrong monitor to get the pointer in the right place, okay? You can see the bug, right? Now, next thing is, should you use full area screen ratio? Now, no matter what the tablet size is, I recommend you switch to screen ratio, or Wacom calls it force proportions. Okay? And I'm going to put that in my notes, which is, suggest that you set screen ratio as the workspace mapping default. Just what I always will recommend. Let's just look in the driver. I'm not going to fool with the virtual keyboard. I'm going to look here, and I'm just going to do some basic testing just to see how it works in the driver, okay? Okay, there's something I'm noticing, which is a good thing, okay? I'm trying to draw with really light strokes. Now, I can't say what the IAF is here. I would say it's 3 gram force or less, right? I think, to be honest, a lot of you would not really notice that's any different from like a Wacom professional pen, to be quite honest, right? Now, one thing I'm noticing here is that at very light pressure, I'm not seeing the pressure dance up and down a lot, and that's good. That's actually really good. That means you'll get more controlled strokes, okay, by default. Okay, what's the maximum pressure? If I had to guess, it's good. I would say I'd have to press. I'm pressing it. I can't be too exact about this. I would say the maximum pressure with the specific unit of pen, and you have to measure pressing straight up and down. I feel like it's in the 400s, maybe even 500. So it's a good range, okay? So this, to me, feels very similar to the PW550 pen, the Huion PW550 pen, which is a good pen, okay? And we'll take a look a little bit more about how it does low pressure, but I'm happy. I'm happy. Okay? And again, what I'm looking for is the orange bar, not to dance around too much at low pressure. And it's decently controllable. Not perfectly controllable, but decent. I shouldn't see... Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. Really, that's really all I want to show you with the drivers. Let us start... Actually, let me start clip. I think another feedback I'm going to give them, quite honestly, is and it's not good or bad feedback. It's just, this is a thought, right? Which is like the model numbers and driver UI show Huion lineage. Nothing wrong with that. But on just speaking as a, my experience, but, consider in the future, it's too late now to change the model numbers, but consider differentiating model numbers and driver UX so that it is, more, that it more clearly marks out this as a new brand and distinct brand. That's my general product feedback. Okay. Okay. So do I have clip running yet? Let's take a look. I thought I started it. I started Clip Studio, but not Clip Studio Paint. Give me a second. Hello, Clip Studio Paint. Oh, I see. It started, but it started on kind of like in a different window or a different monitor. Let me drag it over. Okay, and I'll start Krita as well. And maybe I'll use my tablet tester. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, we're gonna try. We're gonna try my special tester. Hang on. Stream tools. Pressure. Okay. I have a special tool that I built, and it's on the web, but I am actually, it'll help me test this tablet about, but I actually built a version for running on Windows as a local app, which I need to clean up, but it's almost ready for people to use. And that's what I'm going to be using in the future for testing. This is what I'm about to show is more like a kind of a prototype, I would say. Okay. So this is my tester app, okay? And it is designed to help me figure out what's happening with the tablet, because I know what this app does, okay? I built the core function of this app by hand and then use Claude Code to evolve it. So I get a more UI, more options, etc. So the parts I built manually were stroke rendering and then pressure curves. And then I took that and made this more advanced tool using Claude Code. So I'm trying to emphasize that even though I didn't write most of the code that you're seeing right now, the fundamentals I did actually manually create. So I know how this app behaves, okay? The first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to just draw really light, and I just want you to watch the dot that's over here, okay? I'm drawing as light as I can. And you're noticing sometimes it drops out. I think that tells me the IAF, the initial activation force, is about 3 gram force. On Wacom, it wouldn't be so easy to drop out a ProPen. Now, the other thing is, there's a little bit of bouncing at super low pressure, but not a lot, right? ProPen 2 bounces a lot more. Strokes look really ugly, okay? Now you're seeing 2 strokes. The bottom one's the unprocessed pressure, and then the top is the processed pressure. I have no processing going on, so they look exactly the same. Let me clear it. So at super light pressure, you want to see if I get any weird blobby pulsing. Not a lot. This is actually the default behavior of the pen is actually pretty good. Okay, so I would assume that either the hardware or the software, meaning the driver or the firmware, is dealing with that oversensitivity you often see in EMR pens. Any spring on the nib? Oh, good question. You know what? Let me bring it up to my eye and let me look at it too. And let me bring the ProPen. I'll compare them. Slightly more springy than the ProPen 2, but not much. ProPen 2 probably holds the nib a little more firmer. There's just a tiny. It probably retracts a little bit more, just tiny. But I would say it feels a little springier, but yeah, it does feel a little springier, right? But I wouldn't say it's disturbing or anything. In fact, it feels quite pleasant to use. But if you use the ProPen 3, you will, oh, that's weird. The ProPen 3 will actually move the cursor. It won't draw, but it'll move the cursor on this tablet, which is interesting. ProPen 3 is definitely, it feels firmer than nib. Again, it is not a criticism of this pen. It just feels a little different, okay? And maybe that will affect your choice. So let's write that down a little bit. It may be, thank you, Hanem, for asking that question, okay? Where are my show notes? Okay, here we go. So I will say nib, probably slightly springier than ProPen 3. Retracts a little more. Feeling is a little softer than ProPen 3. PP3 nib will feel firmer. Still feels nice to use. Now on that note, let's talk about the surface texture. So this is something that let me just open up an empty window. Oh, let me do about blank here. You can't see what's going on because I'm not drawing anything. I'm just telling you what it feels like. I'm taking the ProPen 3 pen on this surface just to establish what it feels like. And yes, the pointer is moving because the ProPen 3 will move the tablet, but button clicking and drawing does not happen with the ProPen 3. It's just fine. ProPen 3. Okay, it feels nice. It doesn't feel over textured. It's pleasant. I can hear it, but it doesn't sound too scratchy. Okay, so it's very nice. But if you want just quiet, this will produce a little bit of a sound, but not super scratchy sound. Okay, but some people just like it more quiet. Let's take this tablet, the pen, the M3 pen, and try it. Okay, now it is moving the pointer, but when I'm drawing, when I'm pressing down, the pointer disappears. Okay, the ProPen 3 nib and this nib feel very similar on this tablet. Okay, so if you like, very similar. Give me a second. Let me get some tablets here. I'm going to compare the surface textures. 1 second. Okay, I've got now the Intuos Pro 2025 large and the Intuos Pro 2017 medium. Okay, so we're going to try to triangulate how this one feels. Let me put it off on the side. So let's just take a look at the compare to the. Here, you probably can't see what I'm doing. This might help. It's not super springy, hey Nim. It's just slightly, just tiny bit. And I think you'd notice it if you're familiar with pens. I'm not sure someone who's not super familiar would notice. Okay, so I'm using the ProPen 3. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm using the ProPen 3 on the Intuos Pro 25. So Intuos Pro 2025 is not silent either. This is definitely a little bit louder, right? Not super scratchy. I will say, with the ProPen 3, it feels like there's slightly more texture on the T610. Okay, let me write that down. Where is my... Here we go. So surface texture. Hang on. Why did this not? Yeah, there we go. Texture. PP3 on TTK 870. Oops. TK 870 versus T610. T610 is the DigiDraw, or It's so confusing. Turing draw or DigiDraw. That's very confusing for me to remember the difference. T610 has a little more texture feeling and slightly more noise. Not bad, not bad. Just you can hear it more. Okay. Now we'll try Pro Pen 3, even though it doesn't work on the. Actually, I should use the Pro Pen 2 on this one. It's really weird to use a Pro Pen 3. Hang on. Now I've got the Pro Pen 2 and the Intuos Pro 2027. Oh, sorry, 2017. So let's just see what it feels like to my brain. Definitely more texture. Pleasant, right? Now let's put this Pro Pen 2 on this thing. Different but similar amount of noise. I would say the ETH 660 has more of a texture feeling. Slightly more texture, similar but different noise. PP2 on ETH 660. Versus T610. On PTH 660, a little more texture. About the same, but different noise. A little bit lower sounding. Lower pitched. I'm really getting into some nitty-gritty details here. I probably don't need to be doing this. On T610, yeah, they both feel good. So basically, like feels fine to draw with. I have no complaints. All pen tablets are getting good, right? We don't need to worry about them too much. Okay, Hayden's asking, how is the Spring compared to other Huion pens and XP pen? Okay, good question. Let me get some of them and I'll try it out. Okay, I am back. So I've got the a PW600 pen from Huion, and I've got a X3 Pro pen, and I'm going to take the Turing Draw tablet, and I'm going to just tell you what I see, what it feels like. So here's the PW600 pen from Huion. And Hanem's question about the springiness. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm gonna take a look at my eyes, okay? Okay, the PW600 pen is definitely not as springy as this. And what about the X3 Pro pen? Let's take a look here. Yeah. The X3 Pro Pen, the X3 Pro Pen, the Pro Pen 3, and the PW600 pen are all sort of similarly springy. Like they don't push in much. They sort of their nibs doesn't move much at all. You don't feel springy. So you definitely notice it more with this pen. So that's fair. Okay, so that's good. Let me put all these pens in location. They're spilled out on the desk here. Okay, next thing we're going to test is go back to our test app. Okay. And oops. And we're going to try, where's that pen? Move the other tablets out of the way. Whenever we test one tablet, I end up testing 5 or 6 others. Okay. So I'm pretty satisfied with low pressure drawing. I was pretty happy. They've controlled it well, which is good. It's a nice, you don't have to do it if you're a brand, but I think it helps your customers. They don't need to fiddle around. They need to fiddle around less with the pressure curve and smoothing and all that stuff. So I'm happy with that. Let me note this in my show notes. I will say low pressure drawing, well controlled. Pressure is relatively stable. That's good. Okay. And the benefit again is you don't need to customize the pressure curve as much. Okay. That's nice. Okay, now let's take a look at I'm just going to try to draw a stroke. And I know you're seeing 2 strokes, but it's the same exact thing. I'm just making pressure go up and down. Now again, take a look at the little dot on the left, because you can actually see the pressure value, right? So when I draw, my natural drawing thing keeps the pressure at around 50 or 60%, okay? Like even if I try to keep it very steady, I'll be dancing at, looks like 70%, 65, 75, something like that, okay? With other strokes, so I'm just kind of sketching a little faster, looks like I'll be at 50%. So between 50 and like 65 is where I'm typically at with this specific unit, okay? And again, I think I'm probably pressing down to get 100%. I think I'm probably pressing down close to, I'd have to guess at 400, okay? Which is good. Maybe 500. I haven't done a real measurement. Don't look at if the stroke looks bad. It's actually drawing quite fine. Now, if you want better control over your strokes, everyone knows what to do. You just use a different pressure curve. Usually I recommend people draw something like this, okay? And it gives you get to draw super light, thin strokes, right? And you can still get the maximum pressure. One more tip, and this is just a general tip for all drawing tablets. Do a little pressure curve and add some pressure smoothing if you can. Not all apps do this, but Rebel does. I'm going to set it to 89% pressure smoothing, and then the green it's obviously curved and it's smooth, and you can see the difference. The raw strokes on the bottom, the process. Look how much different the strokes are. Look how much more control I have when I'm trying to draw thin. It's a much more controlled stroke, right? Doesn't vary as much. Now I can increase this quite a bit, pressure smoothing, and you can see then it's probably easier to do something calligraphic, right? The one downside of pressure smoothing is if you end the stroke suddenly, like this. Sorry. Sneezing. If you end the stroke suddenly, it won't suddenly go away. Like it'll keep like the last set of values. So it'll keep its thickness, right? You can see that if I remove the pressure smoothing. You're probably wondering, why do you get these little bumps at the end? Part of that is because it's a web app, so I get half as many data points per second, so like 100 reports per second. And the other reason is when you flick your pen away suddenly, it's like suddenly the pressure just goes away and you get fewer data points. So it ends up, it looks like this. Now, not all apps show this because they draw in special ways, but my app has very primitive drawing. So this is what happens. Okay. So it's not a fault of the pen or the tablet. It's just the way my app renders things. So don't read too much into that sudden transitions at the end. Okay. They just look weird because that's the way I implemented them. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the pressure in this pen. No complaints whatsoever. TO does things like, can you hold the pressure? Actually, let me reset all the pressure curves here. Let me just reload the app. Can I hold it without? I can. It's pretty easy to keep the same pressure level. You can see the dots barely, once I figure out what I want, the dot's not moving much. That's great, right? Again, you're not looking at position, you're just looking at the pressure of the dot. If I want to keep it at 50%, I can do it. This is the evidence. Or at 75%. Or at, let's see, this should be like, I don't know what number that is. Let's just say that's 90% or 85%. It is not hard. Now let's try the lower numbers. Can I keep it at 25%? It's a little harder because you have to press pretty light. That's normal. How about 10%? Can I do it? It's harder. That's where you want the pressure curves. If you do it like this, it's a little easier to keep it at 25 or at 10. See? You use pressure curves and smoothing, of course. Now you notice the strokes going up and down. That's because there's no position smoothing. I don't normally test with position smoothing because it can give you some misleading. It'll make pressure look smoother than it is. That's basically why I don't do it right now. But pressure, I'm actually totally fine with this pen. No problems. Let me take a quick look. The Discord, people may have some. Okay. Let me take my notes. General pressure. Experience. I'm super happy with the pen that came with it. Right, not a problem. Now, tilt, no, I'll just take a look at it. I don't think there's anything much to say, to be quite honest. I'm not rendering anything, I'm just taking a look at the number. I know it's probably hard for you. You can see the tilt X and tilt Y and azimuth and altitude. So I'm not noticing anything unusual, by the way. Everything looks pretty standard. So tilt looks fine, nothing really crazy. You're seeing some weird shapes because I'm not holding the pen steady. What about the hitting the buttons to interrupt the stroke? Classic thing. Okay, so you typically do not see this on a Wacom tablet, but it's important to note that, and you probably won't even notice this on any tablet because you have to hunt for this one. If you draw a stroke and you press a button, what happens? Nothing happens on the first button when you press it down, which is pressed down now. But if I lift up, what happens? There was a slight change in pressure. That could have just been me or the app, so I have to think of it, but it's not interfering. What about the second button? Okay, the second button will interfere with the stroke, right? And that, again, I'm not saying it's a problem. It's maybe the way the buttons are mapped, okay? So the better way to test this, really, is to tell the driver, don't do anything with the buttons, which is what I'm gonna do. Oops, let's find the driver. Okay. If they're set to mouse button, the top button's the mouse right button. We'll set this to Huh? I want to disable it. No function. Okay, great. And set this to no function instead of E. Now you can test it. Okay? Sorry, I should have done this in the first place. So does the bottom button interrupt the stroke? It does. Pressing down didn't do anything, but lifting up suddenly caused a little disruption. Okay? I don't think you'll notice this. And you have to like try to find this. What about the second button? The second button did actually do something. Okay, so I'm drawing. Now I'm going to hit the second button, down. It suddenly increased the pressure. And then what about, press it down, pressure went up, and then I'm going to let go. There was an interruption. So we do see a few things. There's a little bit of stroke interruption. Again, this is a thing I do want to be better with tablets, but it doesn't really affect most people. But it's worth noting. Sorry, I'm trying to find the... buttons interfere with pressure. Slightly, yes. Most people will never even notice this happens. And the reason most people don't notice this happens is very few people are pressing as they're drawing. Because if you're pressing a button while you're drawing, you'll disrupt the stroke anyway, because you're pushing into the pen, so it'll deflect the pen. So it's not a thing people really do. I mean, some people probably do it for whatever reason, but I don't think most people encounter this, okay? Happens with both buttons. On release, stroke is actually interrupted. Okay. Worth noting. Again, I want Rams to be better at this, but it's not a problem. So not a big deal. At least I don't think it's a big deal. Okay. I'm going to take a look at my one of my other evaluations of tablets, testing. See if I should test anything else here. Give me 1 second. I know you can't see what I'm seeing, so. Pointer lag seems fine. Nothing. I certainly don't feel like it's laggy, right? It feels about as good as anything I've used, right? So I will take that note down as well. Pointer lag. It's very good. Good. So, so very typical of lots of pen tablets. Touch does not support touch. No touch support. Replaceable surface does not, actually, auxiliary buttons first. Aux buttons, no, not. Replaceable surface, no. Which is typical. Again, typical. Most tablets, only a couple of Intuos has that. We talked about surface texture. Cables and connections. There's a USB-C on top left. Pointer lag? Is that what I type? Pointer lag. Okay. I'm not. Hey, I don't have. Typing is not my superpower. Okay. But I love doing these with you all. Let's see. Diagonal wobble. We got to do some diagonal wobble testing. Okay, so give me a second. I need to get my diagonal wobble ruler. Okay, I'm back. I am back. Now we got to test diagonal wobble. So for that, I use Krita. I could use other things, but I'm just so used to using Krita for this test. I'll do it quick. I mean, when I mean quick, I mean I won't use my, the normal way I do it. Just it's quicker for me to show it to you this way on while in the middle of the stream. Let's set up the brush. We want to get what is it called? I don't know why my favorites are picked. Let's just get all. I want ink 3 fine liner. And look at the settings. And I want to turn off strength and size. Turn this curve off. Right? Make sure it's 5 pixels. Let's give a test. There's some smoothing. Got to turn that off. Go to none. Okay, let's try quick stroke. Oops, I changed the color or something. Oh, I turned on the eraser. Okay, feels good. Feels good to draw, by the way. Okay. So we do 9 strokes. 3 slow, 3 medium, 3 faster. At 45 degrees. 2 1000, 3 1000. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna have to redo that one because it was going off the page. Okay, let's try this. 1000. Now it can be hard to see. It should take about 4 seconds to draw this stroke, which is 10 centimeters. Move the ruler, do it again. Move the ruler, do it again. And we'll zoom in later, take a look at what happened. Okay. Now, medium stroke. The reason we do it 45 degrees is that's where we see the most problems in drawing tablets, if they have any problems. Now, fast stroke. Basically 1 second stroke. It's not really a fast stroke. It's actually more of a medium stroke. But at a certain point, if you're doing it so fast, you'll never see the problem. Okay, let's take a look. Let's zoom in. Now, all tablets have a little bit of variation, so don't read too much into things, okay? Don't. I see. I'm curious what you think you see. I see a little bit. It's a very subtle wobble. It's kind of microscopic. Now it happens on fast strokes, but I don't think anyone would notice. Like, I mean, I think only with a microscope you'll notice is what I'm trying to say. On slow strokes, that's where it normally would appear more. I do see a little bit more, in my opinion. But again, I would either call this okay or okay good. Okay? That's what I would say. I generally think we should not see any wobble in fast strokes or even medium strokes. I generally want to see only a little bit of wobble here, but the effect is really microscopic. Okay? So overall, I think I'm gonna rate it good. Let me say that. So overall good. Overall good. Fast, I would call it microscopic wobble. Medium, I'd also call that kind of microscopic. And at slow, it's very slight. Right? So, yeah, a tiny bit of smoothing should correct. And let's prove that, right? By going to, let's erase. Let me save this image. I don't want to erase it. Save as T610 diag wobble testing. I have a real template for wobble testing, but I don't know if I really want to redraw this later on. Okay, so I'm just going to erase all this, and we're going to zoom in again, and we're going to do the same basic test, but with a little bit of smoothing. And go to weighted smoothing, and I'm going to set it to a pretty low number, actually. So we're going to go to, like, sorry, distance. I'm going to set it just to 20 pixels, okay? And I'm going to take a look at this. We don't know what the right value is. Normally 200 is what I need. Okay, where's my... Okay. So slow strokes. So I'm counting to 4/1000. Let's see if a small distance got rid of it. I'm going to sneeze in a second. No, I need a little bit more. So let's try moving it up to 100. Let me type in the number. Remember, if something goes up to 200, that's fine, right? I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, it becomes sub-microscopic at like 100. So I'm totally cool with that. Let me do a few more just to validate my testing here. Again, this is a slow stroke at about 4 seconds, which is designed to show the wobble, right? I shouldn't say 4 seconds. I'm counting like 4/1000. Yeah, it's great. So you need, this is fine. This is actually fine. Again, I talked to Brad today, and I think one of the points we chatted about is sometimes we can fixate too much on these really tiny things, right? At the end of the day, I think you'll be happy with this tablet, is what I'm saying. Now, should you get it? That's another question. But the performance of it, I have no problem with. Okay? I really don't. Where are my show notes? Yeah, so overall, it's good. Credo, weighted, distance equals 100. Normally, when things are 200, I think they're okay, right? But no, 100's fine. You don't notice much lag when you do that. Okay, let me just make sure I have the... I'm going to open up the stream just to make sure I don't have any questions that I'm not seeing. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm not. Let me pop out the chat there. Okay, and let's get back to my template for reviewing. So wired, this is wired only. Wireless, no, wired only. Okay, so no problems with this. Happy. We're gonna do a little bit of Android testing. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna use this Huion tablet with a Wacom Moving Pad Pro 14. Can you believe it? I think I have one here. It should be charged up. And that will give us, we'll do our Android testing with one drawing tablet with another drawing tablet. Oh. Hard time picking it up off the table. By the way, I tell you, I hated the Moving Pad Pro 14's cover. It is awful. For $60, you expect a much better cover. Okay, let's see. Plenty of power. Great. Okay, let me move. Moving Pad Pro. Okay. Let me sign in. Secretly. This is why you want fingerprint sensors on these things. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens. Now, what are we testing for? We want to see that it's handling things in different orientations. Okay, that's what we want to test here. Now, I'm going to move some things out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Bear with me. Okay, and I'm going to have to zoom a little bit. So when I'm doing this, you're not going to see the tablet a lot. You're going to see just the moving pad, okay? So just be cognizant of that. Okay, I need some tablet juice, which means tablet juice is sugar-free Red Bull. Delicious. Red Bull is delicious to me. Monster, not so much. Red Bull to me is like a fine wine. Monster is like something bad. Cloying. What does cloying mean? Let me remind myself. Oh, yeah. Cloying describes something, often food, perfume, or sentimentality, that is excessively sweet, rich, or sentimental to the point of being unpleasant, nauseating. So yes, Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull is like a fine Shiraz wine. And Monster is like a cheap wine that is cloying. Overly sweet, saccharine, artificial. In some sense. Okay. Oops, I turned this thing turned off. Oh, gotta do it again. Secretly lock. Oh, didn't lock. So that's good. Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna turn on. God, which one do I want to use? I'm gonna do high paint. I think I have a license for it. Let me start a new document. Hang on, I know you can't see things, so. I can't see if it's too far from my eyes. Okay, high paint. Now, what do we want to see? We want to see that if I draw a circle, that's the first test. Does it just work? Okay. And the first thing you got to do is unplug it from the computer and plug it into the tablet. Now, what I need for that is a special USB-C cable. So give me a second. Not a special one. I just need a USB-C to USB-C cable. So I need to get one. So give me a second. Okay, sorry. How? By the way, I switched things real quickly, so I want to make sure. How did I miss? I want to make sure I didn't accidentally not show you the last few minutes. I couldn't work with this moving pad correctly, a moving pad Pro with this tablet, the T610. So now I'm going to try a Samsung device. Okay. So tell me if I made a mistake. Hopefully I didn't. Actually, let me take a look at the. I'll do that later. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay. If anyone else was here, just let me know if it was clear what I did with the Moving Pad Pro and the T610, the DigiDraw tablet, Turing Draw tablet. So yeah, it doesn't work correctly. Okay, and I'm going to put that in the notes that I'm going to send to. And I know, so again, the fact that it was with a Wacom tablet shouldn't make a difference. Okay. So feedback. Well, not feedback. I think this is just a problem, right? Okay, Android. So I tested with the MVP P14 with concepts, iPaint, and what was the other app called? Infinite Painter, Infinite Paint. Tablet active area not correctly mapped to Android device. Very distorted strokes and limited active area in use. So classic problems. And I believe, again, I think the Moving Pad Pro has Android 14. Okay. So I have the Samsung S11 Ultra, but it needs some, the battery was dead. So I'm gonna have to charge it up a little bit. But it should still work. Okay. Samsung S11 Ultra. This is something so many drawing tablet manufacturers. Now, Wacom does a good job of this, I think, in most of their tablets, but with the other brands, this is like, it does not work as seamlessly. I had also the similar problem with the Deco 01V2 from XP Pen. It just did not work seamlessly. And I'm gonna have to wait for this to charge up a little bit more. Let me just see if I can turn it on at least. Hang on. It needs more power. That's the one thing I don't like about these Samsung, these large S11 Ultras. They seem to just eat up their battery even if you're not using them, and they once you powered them out, you've run out of battery. It takes like time for them to get any charge, and of course they are slow to charge in general. So let's give it a few more minutes and see how that works out. Meanwhile, let me take a look at the rest of my notes. Oh, someone did want me to test. So again, I think this is a very similar tablet to the Frago 610. So look at the Frago, the Huion Frago 6, it's a 610L. That's its model number. And then this is the I'm messing up the name. DigiDraw T610. What does that tell you? There's some lineage here. Is that what might be causing it, Cami Luna? Let me see. I don't have. Okay, so the case on my S11 Ultra does not have, unlike the previous cases, it doesn't actually have the S Pen holder, right? Which for me is cool because I don't like the S Pen holder sticking out. But I'll keep that in mind with my S8 Ultra, right? Because I think it suffers from the problem more than my S11. Maybe that's the reason it does that. Okay, and I could see why, right? Like it's in the range of the tablet, so the tablet's giving it energy all the time. I had not thought about that. That's very interesting. I'm gonna get the PW550 pen, and we're gonna see what happens with this tablet. That's a Huion pen, because my theory is they're using the same digitizer. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, Camille, that's such a good thing you suggested. I will definitely keep that in mind. I never thought about the S Pen because these EMR things will definitely, I think, cause some sort of interaction with the tablet. Theoretically, some shielding on the back of the tablet should stop that, but maybe. Oh, and it's maybe the Bluetooth thing also has some problems with it. Okay, let me see now. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. Oops. Okay. Same tablet. DigiDraw T610. And this is it says DigiDraw right on it, by the way, at the bottom. And then oh sorry. I got it mixed up. It's DigiDraw is the brand, but Turing is the tablet. Okay. The DigiDraw Turing. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Does the PW550 pen react to this tablet? Wow, it didn't. Well, that's surprising. Oh, well, no, it's not surprising. I don't have the tablet plugged in. It's not plugged in. I had it plugged into my Movink. And I unplugged it, but I need to plug it into my computer. Let's see. We're not done yet. We are not done yet. Let me zoom. I'm going to have to move this out a little bit. I don't think you will appreciate sometimes how messy this desk gets in the middle of this. Okay. So we're just gonna look to see if the pointer moves any. I keep on touching tablets. Let me plug it in. Okay. Huion pen, PW550 with this tablet. What happens? My theory is it'll just work. Am I right? Let me open up Clip. You know I think I'm right. So doesn't register the PW550. Interesting. Let's take a look at the driver. Now the driver said it's not connected. That might be the reason. Okay, why does it do that? It is connected, by the way. I'm not... Huh? Well, this happens sometimes. What I did was I connected it to the Wacom. And now connected back to my computer. Now the computer doesn't recognize it. Oh boy. This is not... Sometimes tablets get into weird states. So I'm not ready to say that there's a problem with the tablet. It's going through a hub right now, so let me try connecting it through a non-hub directly. If I can find a port somewhere. Oops, hang on. My AirPod fell out of my ear. 1 second. Ooh, I very nearly stepped on my AirPod while trying to find it. And I honestly almost broke it. Okay. The Samsung tablet is still charging. I'm going to give it a few more minutes, then we'll try it. Until then, let's connect the DigiDraw tablet directly to oh boy. No device is connected. Oh, no, it found it. Okay. So sometimes things get confused with tablets. And you can see now, once I connected directly to the computer, instead of the hub, it found it. Okay. So if you ever have that problem, that's one thing you should definitely try, connecting directly to the computer. Okay. We were doing all this just to verify. Will the PW600 pen, PW550 pen, work with this tablet? Okay, now let's get rid of the driver. I use the mouse for that. Let's see what happens. And it does. As I suspected, this tablet shares the same lineage and almost certainly the same digitizer, or at least one very related to the Huion Brago Medium. And I'm able to draw quite nicely with the PW pen. Okay? Quite nicely indeed. Right? So on the plus side, if you lose your DigiDraw, what the hell that pen is, M3 pen. Now, I can't guarantee this will always work in the future, but that's what I'm seeing right now. Okay? Again, I'm using a Huion pen with this tablet. And again, the model numbers are the same almost. Was it L610, T610? L610 is Huion, T610 is DigiDraw. So there is some lineage here. Okay, but the drawing experience is fine. Okay, now let's try with the Samsung tablet. It's about 8% charged now. I'm gonna let it start up. And then we'll try it. I'll get a few minutes of usage out of this thing. We'll see. Just waiting for it to reboot. You can see it. Okay. And let me log in. Now, okay, so that's a thought in my head, which is this tablet's not wireless, and how things work might be better if they connect via Bluetooth. But of course, this one does not support Bluetooth. Okay, this tablet says it wants to restart. So I'm going to let it restart because it gives me a few more minutes of power, okay? Okay, won't restart because I need 20% power. Fine, whatever. Let us... let me start Infinite Painter here. Okay. And do a blank canvas, create. Okay, and you're going to see it in just a second. Okay, there it is, Samsung S11 Ultra. And I'm going to unplug it from power. I should have just enough to last a while. Connect this tablet using a USB-C cable. USB-C into the Samsung. And we're just going to do the same test, really. Okay. Light is on here, so it is powered. And let's bring it over. Let's just see what happens when I try to draw. Okay, upper left. Same problem. The thin sliver, I try to draw a circle here, what happens? I get an oval, a very distorted oval. Not working for drawing, not working, okay? This is with, let's just find out the Android version here. How do I do that here? What about Android? This is Android 16 on the latest Samsung S11 Ultra. So it's not working. I mean, it's working, but badly, right? Pressure works, but just there's a distortion happening here, right? And, you know, we should test other apps, which we will do. Let's test. What's the other one I will test? Concepts, right? But I'm pretty sure we know what's going to happen. Concepts. Where's concepts? Maybe I didn't install it. No, it's here. Okay, sure. Okay, I've got a diagram already on it. So, where's the top left? Here. Where's the top right? Same problem. To draw this, there's just a narrow region here which gets mapped to the tablet. So that's not working. Let's try one more before I, you know, give up, which is Infinite Painter. Okay. It's already got something drawn on there, so I'll clear it. Let's make sure I can draw. Okay. Where's the top left? Where's the top right? Same problem. So this tablet does not work well with Android devices. Okay. You will be frustrated if you try to use it. It simply does not. So I will note this down and share that feedback with them, with the DigiDraw team. I think there's got to be some way it can work. I recall with the Frago, it just worked. We can test it out in just a minute, by the way, just as an example. Let me get some power back though on this thing because it is going to run out of power soon. So I want to give it another chance. I'm going to get the Frago. And I'm going to, I think I am. Let me just see if I can find it real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I cannot find the Frago. It is somewhere in my house, I'm sure, but I cannot find it in the grotto, and I can't find it in my normal studios, so it's kind of lost right now. But I'll test it again. But in my recollection, the Frago worked well. We can take a look. Take a look at my notes on the Frago and Android. What did I say in my notes? I did find issues about the cursor. Here, let me just show you instead of like making you guess. I think this, see, this is the, oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. This is a screenshot from, I think, Huyon. So I believe this is my experience. This is what I found. Like, if your device is like this, it'll just work. But if it's like this, uh, it will. It basically works in either orientation. But that's not working with this device. This DigiDraw tablet. Okay. The one issue I found with Android devices in the Frago is how the cursors work. Now that could have been an Android 15 problem. I don't know. But the other thing, actually, you know what? I'll have to find the Frago and test it again. Honestly. Here it is. Here's my testing. So with the Frago, it worked with wireless, but not with USB-C cable. Now, Huion actually showed this would work, by the way. Let me prove that to you. Okay. I think they did. No, this isn't Canvas 13. I've got that mixed up in my head. I'll try to find an example with the Frago, but it's supposed to work with a cable, in my understanding. But this doesn't have it. I mean, it's not wireless. The Frago worked wirelessly for sure. So, okay, a couple of follow-ups for me. I need to find the Frago. I need to retest Frago to see if things got better, because we've had an OS update for this thing. So things might have just gotten better because Android has gotten better. That's one thing. I need to test both wireless and Bluetooth. Number 3, once I've gotten that answer, I need to retest. Well, I think I'm done testing this. I think I'll deliver this feedback to the DigiDraw people. Again, I always miss up. Is Turing the name of the company or the device? So Turing is the name of the device. DigiDraw is the name of the company. So that is something I need to get feedback on. Okay. And with that, I would say my overall feeling of this tablet, it works quite fine. I mean, it's really, it would make a really good beginner tablet. Cost about $60, which I think is a decent price for a beginner wired tablet. And I think beginner it's really not a good word either. This is actually a fine tablet. 100%. If you needed to draw something and it needed to be drawn well, you'd be able to use this tablet. There's not a problem. Okay. Sounded like Donald Trump for a second. Believe me, there's not a problem. I can't do his voice, but he always says that it's not a problem. Believe me. So in that sense, like I have no problem with the tablet. Like I think it's fine. If you're using Android, I think we got some issues. Okay. If you're looking for a different experience than the Huion Frago, this is not going to be a different experience. Okay. So I think that's a thing. Now, if you're getting this as a new tablet, the real cons of this are that there's no one with this tablet, right? I'm probably the first person you know that has one, okay? And this is just an unfortunate reality of dealing with a new tablet's coming into market. Like no one's got it. So if you don't want to have any risk, get the Frago, right? Because lots of people have that tablet. And that would be something that, I think you'd be fine with. I think if you're going to get this tablet, you're probably someone who, you're kind of okay taking the chance. What is the chance I'm talking about? The chance is that you're going to need help and you're not going to be able to get, one of your artist buddies to help you because no one has the tablet. You're going to have to contact customer support, right? And this brand just started, so we just don't know. And we don't know how long new brands are going to survive in the world. Huion's been around since, 2011? Hopefully this brand stays around too. I'm totally happy if they will. But it is a new brand, so they've got an uphill battle to gain users and acceptance and a reputation. I think the things they can do, this is all feedback I'm going to give them, that would help are start to differentiate their product line. It's too late now with this tablet. It's got a similar model number to the Frago. It's got obviously the same specs, same digitizer, but getting the driver to be better. And I have some ideas. I'll share that with them as well. They took a first step, but I think they need to do more. This has got to be a better experience, or at least a differentiated experience visually to make it, seem like its own thing. That's my feedback. Yeah, so this is a fine tablet. I actually think I would have absolutely zero problems drawing with this. Zero problems whatsoever. It's just a matter of, is it the right tablet if you want a safe choice, right? But if you're willing to take a little bit of risk, and again, not about the tablet quality, but risk in like you might, you know, you're gonna have to contact customer support more often than otherwise, then yeah, right? So that's my verdict. Yeah, it's a totally fine tablet. I think you'll be able to draw lots of good things with it. In fact, what I'll do is I'll draw something with it, just some, you know, meme art or something, and I'll tell you how it went. And I think right now, based on my experience with the Frago, I'll be totally fine with this tablet and the way the pen feels. Okay. I will say, just going a little bit beyond this brand, it just goes to show you, I think Wacom's got a real problem right now. Their consumer line, the what do they call it? Wacom One pen tablets, the 2023 ones, CTC 6110 WL and 4110 WL. The pen is substandard. It has kind of weird things with pressure banding. I didn't test pressure banding here, but I'm not seeing any stroke problems, so I wasn't really panicked. But you know, I didn't see any problems in my testing that I did do, so it probably indicates me there is no pressure banding problem. I will test that more formally. But this is just yet another tablet that is better than Wacom offers at the consumer level. Okay, like much better. And in terms of pen, in terms of pressure, in terms of cost. So, and Wacom is always in a difficult position because they want to have things in consumer space, but they don't want them to compete with their professional tablets. Okay, so they have to figure out a story that makes sense, because right now it's not making sense. It's just not making sense. Okay, with that, I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to type up my notes. I'm going to start my notes on this tablet, and I'll start an email to the DigiDraw team telling them what I found. Okay, because the stream went on a while as I tested it, but yeah, overall verdict, pretty happy with the tablet. And I think they should be happy they got it out. Okay. Okay, everyone. Thanks for your time. I'm going to end the stream and I'll be back soon. Have a great day. Okay, let us click over. Okay, see you all soon.